Hello, I'm Peter Cooper and I'm very proud to be the Principal of Hereford Sixth Form College. Welcome to our virtual open event and I hope you'll find it a useful one. I'm going to talk for a short while, but there are many other things that you will see within the event area which I hope also you'll find useful. Let me start with some questions which you may be thinking about when you consider coming to us or indeed to any other educational institution. The main one that I think is the most important here is the first one, will I be happy? Because you're going to spend 2 years somewhere, and if you actually enjoy being there and feel part of it and a belonging, that is the place where you're almost certainly going to do both your best work and have the most fulfilling time. Sixth form colleges are themselves very high-performing institutions, and one of the reasons for that, it happened by a bit of a fluke, that they were reorganised originally for the purposes of efficiency. But what we found is that by putting a critical mass of students together of the same age, that they actually they were able to bounce ideas off each other, reinforce each other's learning, and the staff who gravitated to these establishments became real experts in their field. And as you can see from these graphs here, sixth form colleges do outperform other sorts of educational institutions, both in terms of their raw results, but also in value-added terms, which I'll come to in a second or two. Here's a couple of quotes that you will see from eminent educationalists. The first one, Paul Joyce, was an Ofsted inspector, and he makes the link between the performance of sixth form colleges and this critical mass in size that they have. And also a quote from Barnaby Lennon, who's the chair of the Independent Schools Council, who actually was looking at why sixth form colleges were so successful and realised that something almost counterintuitively, that the larger class sizes we have, often around about 16, 18, 20 students, had an element there of reinforcing the learning of students. So it wasn't merely teacher-student learning, but also lots of student-student support and learning from one another. And that is one of the key things which I feel is part of our success. As you'll see from this next slide, many different people have come to the college to look at what we do, and they say some extremely nice things about us, as well as information about our basic pass rates and the value-added performance and so on. What you also see here is quotes from the Country Life magazine, which had a look at what we were doing, but also the fact that Ofsted and the Times Educational Supplement, an eminent journal in the area, gave us the Sixth Form College of the Year award a couple of years ago. And we're very, very proud that we are externally validated, if you like, by these organisations. We must be doing something right. The next slide gives an indication of the performance of the college in value-added terms. Now, value-added is a concept that looks at what students come to us with. So someone with a whole string of 9s or A's, you would expect to do extremely well at their A-levels, whereas someone perhaps with more modest GCSEs, perhaps 5s or 6s, if they progress to that same level and get A's and B's themselves, they have actually travelled a further distance. So that's the concept of value added. And what you can see from here is the college over a 3-year period. There's no data for 2020 because of the disruption with the coronavirus. The last 3 years of recorded data is extremely positive, with the college being in the top quartile of performance nationally consistently throughout this and for many years before. Again, I'm very proud about that. So how do we do this? Well, I think on this slide there's a reasonable selection of things which do all impact on our students. But for me, 2 important ones which I'm going to pull out are the responsibility we give our students. Throughout their time with us, they move from being a GCSE, just having completed GCSEs where there's a lot of spoon feeding and students sort of go with the instructions given by the teacher, to as they move from us, they go into either to world of work, apprenticeships, or indeed into university, where a lot of the work will be very much to the responsibility of the student themselves, or the individual. So we try to bring people through and on a journey to give them that responsibility. And throughout that time, there's a lot of support and challenge which we do give to people, both as an encouragement terms, but also so that they don't settle always for second best. We run extremely ambitious programs for students, for those who we feel are able to go and are aiming for those very top universities. And you'll see here our success both with Oxbridge, Medics, where there's a fantastic success rate and number of students going on to these courses. So that I'm really, really proud of that. And we have master classes. We have lots of an HE Plus program where we have a partnership with the University of Cambridge. And these all add to performance at that top end. The ethos of the college is very much about having a community, an identity. Now, for many students, for some it might be that they are sporty and they have a high affinity with the team that they work in. For others, it will be the classes that they attend. However they do it, we very much see it as a halfway house between school and university. And we do expect a lot of our students, both in terms of the standard of their work, but also behaviour and the responsibility and involvement in the community around. And we think that's a good thing. As you'll see from this graph, which was taken from the 2019 data, you'll see that students come to us from all over the area. Clearly there's a cluster concentrated around Hereford and the surrounding area itself, but also down from Wales, both sides in Monmouthshire and across in Powys, and indeed down from Shropshire, from Worcestershire, and increasingly from Gloucestershire as well. So our students come from far and wide, and the key message here is you might be the only person from your school who is in a particular class, but so are most of the others. And what you will find is that you will make new friends, and you will find that you will grow together to become like one group who support one another. And the only downside of this, of course, is if somebody from Malvern gets friends with someone from Bwyth Wells, it's a bit of a journey at a weekend. But other than that, the social mix is a really good one. Here's a typical programme that our students study with us. Most students study 3 subjects, whether it's A-levels or our increasing number of vocational subjects. Alongside that, we expect them to do work outside, which we call directed study, which is to at least the same amount as it would be within a normal subject. Now, the sort of thing this might be would be, if I give you an example from a language, it could be that the group are required to watch a film and to comment on it. So rather than spending 3 lessons just sitting in a group watching a film collectively, we may ask the students to watch the film in advance, prepare for the lesson so they can immediately talk about it. That's an example of directed study, although there are many others. You'll also see that we have a personal tutor, a tutor group, and that personal tutor is responsible for the Education for Life, or E4L, element of the course, which is very much all to do with personal welfare, responsibility, and indeed all the sorts of things, a bit of politics and so on, that people are going to need to know about when they leave us and go on to the next stage in life. We also have an impact programme, which I'll talk more about in a second or two, which is all to do with extracurricular stuff, which is absolutely vital and equally as important to people's future, what they do within that. And for many students, they also choose to do an extended project qualification, which is equivalent to half an A-level. Another option which we encourage most of our students to do, in fact it's an opt-out rather than opt-in, is we get them to do a Maths for Life course. Now, many of the A-levels currently have quite a large element of statistics or mathematical challenge within them, and this course is both a qualification in its own right, again worth half an A-level, but at the same time it also enables you to perform at a higher level in your core subjects. So again, we'd encourage many to do that. For some students who perhaps have got extremely strong GCSEs, they will opt to do 4 subjects and again the same course. And as you can see, there are other options which include a larger vocational element centering on one particular sort of course area, or indeed for some students they don't quite get the grades which they were hoping to when they applied for us. In that case, there's nothing to worry about. It does mean to say that we need to get people a foundation programme so we enable them to get enough GCSEs to progress to that next stage. But they do that. It's a highly successful programme, excellent results in it, and those students invariably progress and are able to get to the destination of completing a level 3 programme of A-levels or vocational studies with us over 3 years. So I did mention the Impact programme, and as you'll see here, here's just a taster of all the things that we do at the college. Some of it's sport, drama, we've got music, and although there are many things like this, you don't have to be an expert in any of them. Somebody getting their boots out for a kick around is just as important to me as somebody playing at a professional standard and trying to move that on. Similarly with music, if you haven't played an instrument for years but fancy just joining and getting, strum along with the band or whatever, great. Get involved in something. And alongside this, I will also say that we very much value what people do in terms of any volunteer work they do outside, which is great, especially as the last year will be demonstrating, and indeed work experience. All are important to us. Here's a slide which shows all the things which we have in place when some things do go wrong, and we know that they do. However well prepared students are, things happen. It might be bereavements, it might be hiccups that are unexpected, illnesses or whatever, and there will be somebody there to help. Often the conduit for this is the personal tutor to help us to direct you in the right direction, but all these people are there, they want you to succeed, they want to help you. I'll say a little now about how I know that, in a way, that some of this works. And as you'll see, we get reports from the UCAS, who are a university organisation, on how our students are doing when they go from us to universities. And as you'll see here, which was the latest data that I have on stuff, the students who left us 3 years ago are performing extremely well compared with those from other types of cohort providers. So we get a large number of students with high numbers of first and upper second class honours, and equally important that they're continuing, they are completing the course. In addition, Herefordshire and its surroundings are what they call a low historical participation area, and amongst similar areas in the country, as you will see, again this stands out far more, with the numbers who are not achieving stuff very, very low compared with national averages. And I think that's a tribute to the students themselves, but also the staff and the system that supports them to achieve this baseline to go on from us. And I think that for me, that's something that I know, it says to me that what we're doing does work. I'm sorry to say, if you're a parent and you're watching this, do you still have any role in the future? Yes, you do. All of these things will involve you. Parents' evenings will keep you up to date with any developments and give you regular reports, and there's a parental portal that you can always log into just to check on anything like attendance or whatever. So I'm afraid it's you haven't got away with it yet, parents. Still plenty to do. And really, finally, here's, if you are interested in this, and I very much hope you are interested, because we're an organisation who relies upon the students coming to us and enjoying themselves. Then I hope that you will be able to go through the application process, and I can't wait to see you all in September. And in the meantime, good luck, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks ever so much indeed.